in unbelievable fashion. I can't believe what I just saw. I mean, it hasn't even hit me yet.
It's hit me. It's either that or all the drinks, but something has hit me.
It is insane. Did 12 men on the field hit you?
Yeah.
That hit me like
Square
crack.
in the face. Square in the face.
That was crazy.
Love
I've
it.
never seen anything like that before in my life. Because usually when you're a defense and like you know that they're running the field goal team on for the last minute kick, like you just say everybody just stays. Like everybody just line up.
Yeah.
They don't even run anybody on. So for them to get caught in that situation, the Bills look like the worst team in football tonight.
Yeah.
From the interceptions to the fumbles to 12 men on the field, like they did not come to play, and definitely the Broncos, they found a way and they won.
Holy cow, did they find a way to win? And maybe the Avs are finding a way
Avs
to
are
win
up 2-1, let's
right
go.
now. And what a game. I mean, the Broncos start off by absolutely dominating, and then the Bills, it just seems like the Bills are going to win because the Broncos can't do the right things to win the game.
Yep.
And then clutch plays down the stretch with 2 minutes left. The Broncos drive down and win this. And how about this? In the past 2 weeks of football that the Broncos have played,
This is crazy.
they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the #1 seed in the AFC West, and they beat the Bills in Buffalo when the Bills absolutely had to have this game. After starting 1-5, the Broncos are 4-5 right now.
Think of this, too. The Buffalo Bills, they came into this game, Josh Allen specifically, 21-5 when coming off a loss. And he was coming off a brutal loss against the Bengals. And for him to come out here and have the game that he did for the Broncos defense, clearly those guys were prepared. They came ready to play. They made him pay. And it was just an absolute stellar performance from the Broncos defense. Things got a little wobbly there in the second half. Can't lie. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, they made the plays when they needed to. And Will Lutz makes the kick when he absolutely needs to. It was just such a weird game from special teams.
We've already gone way too long without shouting out Russell Wilson.
Woo!
That was a winning football game from Russell Wilson. The stats aren't going to blow you away, but when push came to shove in the biggest moments of the game, just like the Russell Wilson that we thought we were getting when he came from Seattle, Russell Wilson made incredible plays 2 different times. An option shovel pass to open up a massive play or to convert a massive third down to win this game for the Broncos. And then not to mention maybe the throw of the year in the NFL. From him to Courtland Sutton to get the Broncos' first touchdown. Russell Wilson was Russell Wilson tonight.
So, Ryan, is that your biggest takeaway from this game?
That is my biggest takeaway. In the end, it's 24 of 29, only 193 yards, but 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 117 rating. That was a winning football game from Russell Wilson. That was clutch Russell Wilson. That was vintage Russell Wilson.
Yep, 100%. And you mentioned that throw. It's 4th down. Gotta have it. Russ makes an incredible play to evade the defense and then throws it to Courtland Sutton, the only place that ball could have been. And you said it was maybe the best throw of the season. It was the most improbable throw that's happened since at least 2016 in the entire NFL. Next Gen Stats said it had a 3.1% chance to be completed. That's the most improbable play that's happened in the Next Gen era since 2016. So, but props to Courtland Sutton, too, on that catch. And we'll dive into the rest of the game, but that was insane. The refs were right there, and they called it incomplete because they just said, there's no way. There's no way a human can do that.
Yeah.
Courtland Sutton did it.
Yeah, he did his best going off script tonight. I mean, Russell Wilson, he didn't make any phenomenal plays when he sat in the pocket, but when he was able to go off script, make plays with his legs, those pitches, I don't know where those are coming from. He must be watching old film of himself and getting back in his groove, but he is definitely playing at a different level right now.
Yeah, and I love Courtland Sutton, too. I mean, to see him be able to get a touchdown like that with the toe drag, 4 receptions for him tonight, 47 yards, averaging nearly 12 per catch. Just a stellar performance from him. He's really putting together a really good season. What is that now? 7 touchdowns in the red zone this year?
It's 7 for Courtland. That's already a career high for him. There's 8 games to go in the season.
Love it.
Courtland Sutton is showing up in the most important category, and that is touchdowns. Todd, what's your biggest takeaway from this massive win?
That the defense is still playing at a high level. We talked before the show, like, there's no way to get another 5 turnovers. I think they have 4 in this game. And if they can keep playing like this, I think the sky's the limit. And they're forcing these turnovers. I think besides the one that went through Gabe Davis' hands. Like, these guys are finding ways to make these plays to put the offense in great field position. Now, I'm still nervous that we only got 6 points off of 4 turnovers. That's not the best, but the defense is continuing to put the offense in great field position. And if we continue to do that all year, I don't know who can really stop us.
Woo. Alexis, biggest takeaway?
I will say that maybe this offensive line isn't as bad as people like to say week in and week out. I mean, this offensive line has had its moments for sure, but Von Miller was out there plenty tonight. And
He was?
He had one tackle all night?
One tackle, a shoestring tackle on Javonte
A
Williams.
shoestring tackle, and
His
that's all
second
we saw
tackle
from
of the
him.
season.
Exactly. The fact that we did not see Von Miller show up and be vintage Von Miller against his former team is all you need to say. So those guys on the end, Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bowles, they held their own. And it was a good week for them to do that.
I love everything that you guys said. But the biggest takeaway for me...
If you go negative here, I'm going to lose my mind.
The biggest takeaway for me in this game... The Denver Broncos are one game out of the playoffs
there
right
we
now.
go.
One game out of the playoffs. How crazy is that?
That is
Again,
crazy.
they started 1-5. They are one game back of the 7th seed in the playoffs, which is the Houston Texans right now. The Texans are 5-4. The Broncos are 4-5, and
crazy.
everything is in front of them. And Todd, you mentioned if the defense plays this way, that how are they going to be stopped, or who's going to be able to beat them? And I look at it and say, on top of that, if you beat the Chiefs and you beat the Bills, and now you're on a 3-game win streak, and the defense is playing this good, and Russell Wilson is playing to the Russell Wilson that he's capable of, and Sean Payton is putting this team in the position to win by running the ball, making just enough plays passing.
Yep.
This is absolutely a team that can make a run in the final 8 games because they're already doing that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it either. And sometimes it doesn't look pretty. Like the end of the game,
It was so ugly.
I don't know if they had a rosary bead. I don't know if they had some holy water, but there was something going on that sidelines because I've never seen anything like that. Like, things are just working out for the Broncos, and I talked about it before. If you want to win Super Bowl, if you want to make it to playoffs, sometimes you just have to get lucky. Sometimes things just go your way, and right now things are going the Broncos' way, so they need to ride this train. The bye, it didn't hinder them in any way. They came back fresh and ready to go, so, man, shouts out to the Broncos. I was wrong this week. I didn't pick them,
Hey.
and I'm hurting because of it.
Well, does that mean that you can't pick them next week either? Just
No,
keep that
picking
good
them
juice
forever.
going?
Keep not picking them.
I'm picking them forever now.
I know.
It don't matter what happens.
Picking them
You guys-
forever.
I think this is the first time I went 3-0 in a week.
How about that?
Maybe. It feels good. It feels good.
That's a 3-game win streak? How's that feel?
It feels great.
Because the Broncos
it feels
are
like
on
the
one
Broncos.
of those too.
Yeah, I know what that feels like now, and man, it feels good. It does feel good.
And going forward, you're 4-5 now. You're right in the mix. As Zach said, you're one game out of the playoffs. You have the Vikings. Obviously, they're
Hottest
on
team
a
in the NFL.
little miracle run right now with Josh Dobbs. You have the Browns, very difficult defense, but a very beatable team. You have the Texans, rookie quarterback. He's been amazing, very beatable. You have the Chargers. We know who the Chargers are.
They charge.
Charge.
Lions, Patriots, Chargers, Raiders. Every game, you just won your 2 toughest games of the season, arguably.
Yep.
The tougher one would probably have been Chiefs at Arrowhead. But 2 of your 3 arguably toughest games of the season, at least at what we would have said coming in, you're right here. You're right there. All of your goals are right back in front of you. This team beat the Chiefs. It turned around the vibes, obviously. They went into a bye week. They came back. They are so much stronger than they were. 70-20 is a distant memory.
Yep.
And momentum means so much in sports. And we talk so much about momentum within a football game because it's so palpable then. But momentum within a season is even bigger. The Broncos have all the momentum right now, and everything they've ever dreamed of is right in front of them.
I love it. I don't know if everything they've ever dreamed of, but they
Everything
have
they've ever dreamed of.
a lot of opportunity in front of them, for sure.
Javonte, after beating the Chiefs, Javonte said, playoffs? We're thinking Super Bowl run. What's
Yeah.
Javonte thinking now? Super Bowl win?
Yes.
Well, and the guy had 21 carries for 79 yards and looked like whatever vintage Javonte Williams looks like in this year for him. Oh, as I drop my laptop. But it's been incredible to see his season come along, and what a game from him tonight. I mean, the motor that guy has, just the will to get yards after contact. He's just He's just a stud. And that's what we like to see out there, right, RK?
I love everything about this performance of the Broncos. It was so gutsy. It was so
It was
I don't know
almost
how
Lutzy, though.
No, it wasn't.
It was almost
I almost
Lutzy.
just I don't know. It's hard for me to describe because they just looked like a real football team.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't just mean like they existed. Like they looked like a real NFL team, a true contender. Like the plays that they were making, the guys that were going out there and just making plays that weren't expected. Jaleel McLaughlin, Jaquan McMillan.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
I get them mixed up, too.
I told Henry I'm going to mess it up at least 3 times on this show, so there's one. Jaquan McMillan just ripping the ball out of James Cook's hands.
Yeah.
Like, that's what good teams do. You know what I mean? Like, for so many years, teams were doing that to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For them to go out there and do that tonight in front of the whole world was so encouraging to me because it just felt like, okay, Zach, we've said it a million times. The Broncos are back.
The Broncos are back, baby. But Ryan, I totally disagree with you. I don't think the Broncos were that good of a team tonight. And I think that's a really encouraging sign. And I want to talk about that after I tell you about Bet365. Their bets are all about never ordinary. And boy, was tonight's game a game that you can get in on for the unordinary. Stefon Diggs had started this season with the most games in a row to start a season with 6 or more catches. That ended tonight.
Yeah.
That is not ordinary, and you could have bet on that over at DraftKings or over at Bet365. And over at Bet365, you can probably bet on the Broncos making the playoffs right now. Those odds are only going to get worse the more games that the Broncos win, so you got to check out our friends over at Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 at sign up. The first 100 fans to show that they have you get to choose actually between your first bet safety net $1,000 or bet $5 and get $150 when you sign up using that code Bet365. That's Bet365 over at that's code DNVR365 over at Bet365.com. Must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And if you want to check out the Broncos that are back, see this new and improved Denver Broncos, check out our friends over at Game Time, where you can find the best tickets. They have flash deals. We're leading all the way up to the kickoff or start of your game. Whether there's basketball, concerts, comedies, theater, and more, they have it all. You can go check them out now, and if you use the code DNVR, you get 20% off your first purchase. I am a Game Time user myself. I look at tickets all the time on there, and it's great because they have all-in pricing. You don't have to worry about hidden fees. You see the tickets you want, you click buy, and they're in your inbox within like 20 minutes. Go check out our friends over at Game Time. Download the app, use the code DNVR for $20 off today.
So I don't think the Broncos played that good of a game today. Now, obviously in some aspects, and we're going to dive into that, they did. But as a team, I don't think the Broncos are that good of a team tonight. And to go into Buffalo against Josh Allen, against Stefon Diggs, against Von Miller, who we rarely saw tonight, and get the win, that is so encouraging because at the beginning of this season, we talked about how this team has no margin for error.
Right.
They can't mess up one thing or they're going to lose games. The Broncos messed up a lot of things today.
Yep.
In fact, one of the things that typically makes a good football team is complementary football.
Yep.
And especially when you don't have a big margin of error, you have to play complementary football. And the Broncos just did not do that for nearly the entire game. In fact, the Broncos had 4 takeaways on defense. That's incredible. That's one of the highlights. That's elite. 6 points scored off of those takeaways. And in fact, in the 6 points the Broncos scored off those 4 takeaways, they didn't have a single first down.
Yep.
They just the defense did a great job getting the offense in position. 2 field goals off 4 takeaways? You should lose that game.
Yep.
But no, this team did not
But
lose
Josh
that
Allen
game.
lost it for the Bills instead.
Exact. Josh
Perfect.
Allen did. The Broncos special teams. Sean Payton comes out this week, says how, oh man, our kicking game's been incredible. In fact, that's what separated us in some of these wins. The special teams coordinator, Ben Kutwika, comes out this week and says our special teams has been great, as we're watching a highlight on ESPN of Riley Dixon fumbling a missed extra point. The Broncos missed 2 extra points. The Broncos missed the game-winning field goal. and they just
They got
found a
the
way
win.
to win.
They
They
can-
found
they
a
got
I think they made the
way
game-winning field
to
goal.
win.
12 men
And
on the field.
to me, that's just so encouraging, actually, that the Broncos' margin of error
That's crazy.
isn't as slim as we thought, and that just shows that they're becoming a good team.
It makes me nervous because I love when it's rocking and rolling, but I'm like, how long does this like good juju last? Because at some point we're gonna have to put together a game, and we're not gonna have a turnover, and we're gonna have to be able to score on offense, and we're gonna have to be able to defend on defense to the point where we have to make plays more so than teams mess up. Like the Bills lost this game.
Yep.
I think the Broncos beat
No.
them, but the Bills lost the game. At the end of the game, they had the Broncos beat. Even this play right here that they're showing right now, which is a pass interference on Jerry Jeudy. This is bad defense, 24. Like, this is something you're coached on at the end of the game, how you handle yourself. Like, they lost this game. But the Broncos did play very well. But the Broncos, at the end of this game, I felt like the Bills lost it.
And just before
I'm gonna disagree
that,
there.
Even
Russell
12 men
Wilson
on the
took a
field.
6-yard
12 men on the
sack.
field, they lost the game. We missed the field goal. I love that we won. I do. But I feel like the Bills lost this game.
I'll disagree. If the Broncos ended up losing this game, I would have said the Broncos lost the game because they
sure.
missed an extra point and fumbled another one. They missed 2 extra points that if they would have made both of those, which is the easiest play in football, they would have been in the lead at the end of the game. So
Right.
I get it. Both teams made massive mistakes.
Yes.
But to me, the Broncos made more winning plays than the Bills tonight. And so to anyone who says, oh, the Broncos didn't deserve to win this, I absolutely think they did. Of course, you should be punished for the mistakes that they made. The 2 missed extra points, a lot of times that could cost you a football game. But the Bills made equal mistakes. So to me, the Broncos made more winning football plays than the Bills tonight. And yes, in the end, the football god said, here you go, Broncos.
Yeah.
You deserve this one. Because I think they did deserve it. And they won the football game.
Brian, you say football gods in this game for the first time in a decade. I feel like there's a little Tim Tebow magic in the air with how
Something's in
this
there,
game
for
went.
sure.
I mean, to the Bills just absolutely looking awful to start the game. And
Yep.
then, of course, the 12 men on the field. Undeniable. The Bills, and Todd, you broke it down perfectly, just how inexcusable that is. Maybe there's a little magic in the air with this team, and I think that magic's only going to build with the team just believing more and more. And I think after these past 2 wins, the belief is just not going to be capped with this team.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the players, I'm able to analyze it here, but the players, they're not caring about anything I'm talking about. All they know
Club
is they
dubs
won.
popping.
All they know, we took a trip to the East Coast and we're coming home with a win. So like you said, belief is everything. I know football is 80% mental. So if you really believe you're going to get a win, I think 9 times out of 10 that you come home with a win.
And what's great is they get to celebrate this one in Buffalo tonight as well.
Oh,
too.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
not
the
coming
poppin'
home.
nightlife
They're
scene in Buffalo.
Yeah, they're not coming home. I'm sure
On a
it's
Monday
great.
night?
They're going to be the only ones out on a Monday night in Buffalo, especially because Bills fans are pissed. But
I wonder if Sean's got the team hotel pumped up with
think?
with a lot of fun stuff.
I hope so.
No,
I
I
hope so
doubt
because
it.
that
No?
team.
It's like a
that-
courtyard Marriott.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
as somebody who's stayed in that hotel before, it is rough.
Where did you guys
Absolutely
stay?
rough. I think it wasn't a. All I know is that at one point I was Googling, which is so embarrassing, like 4 Seasons Buffalo, which doesn't exist.
No.
Oh, of course not.
No
room,
results.
My room was so nasty that I was like, I can't sleep here, and I don't know how the players slept there the night before a game. It was disgusting.
Gotta
Absolutely.
do what you gotta do.
I
man.
guess
You
it's a
gotta-
little
you gotta-
Bills home field advantage there, and the
is,
Broncos
but-
didn't give an F about it tonight. And reports out of Buffalo is that the Broncos locker room after the game
It's
was
on fire.
going
Crazy.
crazy.
Let's
Good for
fucking
them.
go.
Absolutely popping. I don't know if they've got those Raiders victory cigars, but Club Dub is going
Yeah.
off tonight. And as we see, there's chants in the stadium. Let's
Lot of
go
orange in there
Broncos.
tonight.
Lot
Yep.
of orange there. And the Broncos fans showed up, and so did the Broncos.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, any other big takeaways before we get into specifics?
Honestly, I just keep going back to Russ. I'm really proud of him. Truly, because we've been so hard on him. And tonight, he really looked like the guy that we thought he could be. And the sack on 3rd down or 2nd down, I guess it was tough. There's nothing he could have done there except throw the ball away and potentially get an intentional grounding penalty.
Really quick, was that like a 2-step, like a 1-step drop? I'm not even saying it's on Russ, but like that was just bizarre as can be.
Well, he was hot to somewhere. So he's trying to go to the hot route. The hot route was covered. And so he just froze, and, they brought the house.
Yeah.
But
they did the next play, and he
exactly.
adjusted.
I was going to say, great job to Russell, and great job to Sean Payton to say on the next play, look, they're going to do it again. And if they do, just throw it up and give someone a chance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an annoying part of football these days. But if you have zero coverage, you're going to get one-on-one across the board, and you throw the ball up, you're going to either catch it or get a pass interference.
Yep.
It's just the way the world is. And it was absolutely a true pass interference.
Without a doubt.
And everything after that was kind of wacky. But it was a great job by Sean Payton. And I think that's maybe the one big takeaway we haven't touched on yet. Sean Payton has turned it on. He is the Sean Payton, again, just like Russ, that we thought we were getting. He's schemed it up. He's done a great job calling games. He has put Russ in a position to succeed. And I feel comfortable now with Sean Payton. Early in the season, it was sketchy there.
You were wearing a tinfoil hat earlier in the season.
I was. And to see it kind of come together, and the last couple games, you've really seen Sean Payton flex his muscles. And with a bye week, he had extra time to prepare. And in this game specifically, and the Chiefs game, you've really seen why the Broncos went out of their way, traded picks, backed up the Brinks trucks to hire Sean Payton. He is a damn good football coach, and that's why this team right now is right in the mix.
Well, what do we say about good coaches? Good coaches coach to their players' strengths. They don't go to what a scheme is. And when you think of Sean Payton, just in general, you think, oh my gosh, Drew Brees, Hall of Fame quarterback, air attack, 5,000 passing yards. And Sean Payton, credit to him, has realized what Russell Wilson can do, what Russell Wilson can't do, what this offensive line can do and can't do, what this receiving core is limited and then also able to do, and then what this running game is able to do. Last week or 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs, Broncos ran the ball 40 times to only 20 passing attempts. Today, 38 rushing attempts for the Broncos, 29 passing attempts. Again, you don't see that in today's NFL, where a team runs the ball significantly more than passing, especially when you're down at the end of a game with under 2 minutes, and they stuck to what they do well, and that is all credit to Sean Payton. And clearly, this formula is what the Broncos need. Sean Payton, right before this winning streak started, for a couple of weeks said, I need to stick with the running game. I tell myself I need to stick with the running game, and then I abandon it. Well, since he stuck to it, good things have happened, and that is good coaching.
It is really good coaching, and I think the way he's really getting to the running game, another way is he's allowing Russ to use his legs. There's a couple times he went to the sidelines, and I was kind of reading his lips. He was like, if it's not there, I want you to run. He's telling Russ to run, as soon as the first one's not there, the first read's not there, don't even look to your second read. Take off right up the middle. And I like this a lot better because he's getting 5 and 7 yards a pop, whereas last year I felt like all of his evading went to the sideline. So it was getting real stretched out really long. He was getting maybe 1 or 2 yards where the fumbles were happening. Now he can run straight up the gut. If he can get 7 yards, that's good. If he can get 5, now you slide. It's a lot less room for error, and it allows for them to stay ahead of the sticks and keep the ball rolling down the field.
Yeah, and when you're running the football, you're controlling the tempo, you're controlling the time of possession. The Broncos, time of possession, 37 minutes and 21 seconds. The Bills, 22 minutes and 39 seconds.
Incredible.
It's safe to say if those numbers were flop, the Bills would have won this game. So running the football is the recipe for success for this team. And what's really nice is to build off a little bit of what RK's saying but when they are throwing the ball, Russ is making some pretty incredible plays. He had that 30-yard pass to Courtland Sutton, absolute beauty. Obviously what we saw in the end zone. I mean, there's just been a few plays, especially throughout the night, that were just that's vintage Russ. That's exactly what we need to see out of him. And then when he's not making those plays, he's handing the ball off and he's letting Javonte Williams use his motor to make big plays. It's working for them. And what's funny is these were the 2 games they really needed to do this. I think they can get away with not doing this in the coming weeks and still win football games.
And then speaking of getting away with things, the defense got away with something. Their run defense regressed back to what it was at the beginning of the season. The run defense was awful today, and they still won because they came up with those huge turnovers. 192 rushing yards from the Bills. The Bills, who don't run the ball. They don't try to run the ball. They don't want to run the ball. In fact, James Cook had 12 carries. They didn't try to run the ball with him. 109 yards, 9.1 yards per carry. The Bills averaged 7.4 yards per carry, almost 200 rushing yards. That is the recipe for the Broncos to lose.
Yeah.
But Jaquan McMillan coming up, Justin Simmons coming up, these guys coming up with monster, Fabian Moreau coming up with a monster interception. The Broncos just found those big plays so that even when everything wasn't working right on defense, they still hold the Bills to 22 points. I would have taken 22 points if someone said, Broncos are going to hold them to 22. You take it, and the Broncos should probably win that game.
Yep.
Sure enough, thanks to 12 men, they did.
I always say, hold them under 24 and score over 24. That should be the goal going into every game.
Wait, time out. I don't know if I've ever heard you say that.
Zach,
Was that?
Zach,
I always say.
I don't know.
back me up.
Okay. That
Back me up.
was before my time.
I've been
That's
saying
fair,
it for years.
I've
24
heard you
is
say
the
for a
number.
while.
If your defense holds them under 24, you should expect to win. If your offense scores over 24, you should expect to win.
Okay.
24 was the number tonight. They landed right on it as an offense, but the defense stepped up in more ways than one to go and keep them under 24. And the big plays were just so abundant from that defense.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was another one that probably should have won the game. And that's Justin Simmons stripping the ball out of James Cook's hands.
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And he got the luckiest bounce maybe in NFL history other than the immaculate reception. And, you know, it ended up being almost a negative for the Broncos. But in the end, like this defense was so opportunistic.
Yep.
And that's what won them the football game. And not to mention, Russell Wilson completely and utterly outplayed Josh Allen tonight in every stat category.
Did he
that-
have more yards? I
And
don't
those-
think he had more yards than him.
He
just,
did have more yards.
And
Towards the end of
two
the game?
shuffle
Josh had
passes,
177 passing yards tonight.
Oh.
Josh
He was scared.
Allen.
He was
Russell
playing
Wilson.
scared in the entire first half. Though. It's
Yeah.
worth
Well,
because
noting.
they
Like,
turned it over on the first possession, and then on their
incredible.
next play, Alex Singleton almost picks him off.
Yep.
And I said to our group at the table, I was like, he's going to be shook off of that.
Yeah,
Like,
he
all
was
of a sudden,
rattled.
you're going to think twice before you throw the ball when Alex Singleton is undercutting your routes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until late in the first half, he was rattled. Until probably 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Like
Yeah.
then he kind of started clicking a little bit more, but that made me nervous because I'm like going into halftime. Josh Allen starting to feel himself a little bit. He threw that touchdown pass. I'm like, oh, I don't love it. Things came out a little rocky there in the second half, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because they come out, they win the game, and somehow or another, death by inches doesn't kill the Broncos this time.
Yep.
And that's great. It killed the Bills though.
Shout out to everyone who said we were delusional for 4 out of 5 of us picking the Broncos.
We did it.
And anyone who says I'm drunk, you're right.
You're right. On Breckenridge Beer, Broncos Country Pale Ale. Everyone wants their hands on some Broncos Country Pale Ale right now. Down at the
hilarious.
DNVR bar. Maybe the Broncos themselves have some Breckenridge Beer out in Buffalo too, because you can find it all across the country at breckbrew.com. Check them out. That's where you can find their beer locator. And of course, come down to the DNVR bar this Sunday night, Broncos Vikings, where you can get all the Breck beer you want. So check them out. The official beer of DNVR, breckbrew.com.
Let's turn up on Sunday night.
Oh my goodness.
Let's
I want this place
turn up.
absolutely packed to the
Packed
brim.
to the brim.
Like it's a Nuggets playoff
Upstairs,
game.
downstairs,
Yeah.
the top floor.
Yep.
The top.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Are we on our good friends from Athletic Greens?
Absolutely.
Little AG1.
Little AG1.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you guys know that AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health? You guys can drink it literally every day, just like I know Todd Davis was. Right? Todd, you're an AG1 guy?
AG1 all the way.
AG1 guy, yeah. You guys can drink it in the morning, afternoon, any single time. It's awesome. All great athletes have one thing in common. They take care of their bodies, and a huge part of that starts with optimizing whole body health. So drink A1. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs for your first purchase. So go to ag1.com/Broncos. That's drinkag1.com/Broncos. I'm
Oh.
glad I read it twice because I Backed it up the first time.
Well,
Just saying.
sometimes you need a second
I
chance.
like when they
and
have
that's what
call
Will
to
Lutz
action
got
and
at the
it
end of the
says
game.
both. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad I wrote it. Okay. drinkag1.com/Broncos.
This
Will Lutz.
game, let's jump into our Bet365 top 5 players of the game. But first,
Okay.
Really quick, way too few likes.
oh,
Let's get to 500, and even that feels light for this
easy.
game.
Let's get to 500 by the next ad break.
Yeah. How many people are watching?
Drum roll.
Okay, we have 1,600 people watching, and we have, it's small, but I think I see
Push the button.
325 likes.
Press the button.
And like,
We need
keep
to
in
get to
mind,
1,600
Thumbs up.
likes.
keep in mind what this win was too. It was the first win in Buffalo since 2005.
2005.
First win on Monday night since 2012.
Oh, yeah. 2012.
October of 2012, and first 3-game win streak since September of 2021. If that's not a reason
My
to punch the like button,
goodness.
I don't know what is.
Oh my
Smash the
goodness.
like.
And also subscribe
Please do
because
that.
the Broncos season is more than alive. It was alive after they beat the Chiefs. Now playoffs, it's not crazy to say that. And it's not crazy to believe that this can be a playoff team in just a couple of weeks from right now. The Broncos, after Minnesota, they have 3 teams that are in the playoffs right now that they get to face and try to knock off and then get there.
We're 5 likes away from 500 already.
Boom! Let's
Dang.
keep it going. Let's get to
500
1,000.
is a joke. Let's go for 1,000.
How about
We're at
another 5? How
517.
about another 5 more? Another 500 more.
Another 500.
500 more. We're going for 1,000. That might be a Broncos record.
Hank will shotgun a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Hank will shotgun a beer
Hank-
on set
Yeah.
if we get to
I'll scoot
1,000.
over and hang.
because he's just right over there. So
Where is
he's
he?
perfect position. He's ready for it. He's thirsty. So let's get that 1,000 likes. Okay, let's jump into the Bet365 top 5 players of the
Okay.
game because there's going to be some players where it's like they made a clutch play, but then also had some negatives. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this one boils down. Who's the
like I got
number
my
1
guess.
player of the game?
Probably Russell Wilson.
Probably Russell.
I would say Russ.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any pushback there. I mean, what Russell Wilson did was he did exactly what Sean Payton asked him to do.
Yep.
And he was as efficient as you could want. He did not turn the ball over. He didn't have a strip sack at the end of a game like he's had twice already this season, and the Buffalo Bills have a good pass rush. I was scared as hell that that's how the game was going to end by Von Miller doing that. Russ didn't do it, and in fact, he's getting sacked on that final drive and then pitches it to P. Ryan. That was a monster play. Russell Wilson came up in the clutch, and honestly, this is who you want to be saying. You want to be saying that it was Russell Wilson.
Amen. Absolutely amen. For number 2, I just have to say this. It's really unfortunate that Stefon Diggs couldn't make the game tonight. Oh, wait. He was there? He played?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Because he had 3 catches for 34 yards, and 2 of them were not on Patrick Surtain the second. So for me, number 2 is Pat Surtain taking away their number 1 target. He had 1 catch for, I think, I would guess 11 yards
Yeah.
on Pat.
Yeah, nothing.
I can tell you.
And
Nothing.
And how about this? It was so bad for Stefon Diggs that his brother Trayvon Diggs after the game tweeted, "Man 14," which is the number that Diggs wears. "Man 14 gotta get up out of there."
Oh,
Pat Surtain
No, the
is
problem
now
is-
having the family force Stefon Diggs' way
Be traded.
out.
let me
of
tell you,
Buffalo.
Trayvon, the problem is not that they didn't want to get him the ball. The problem that he was absolutely clamped
Smothered.
down. Let me
Smothered.
just get my seatbelt on.
Pat Surtain, incredible. And he was the featured guy going into this game from ESPN. They made a huge deal about it. They've been advertising it for days, and Pat Surtain lived up to the all-pro that he is. Huge, huge player. And like I
Phenomenal.
said, Stefon Diggs he had 9 straight games coming into this game of 6 or more catches to start the season in each game. That's the longest streak of 6 or more catches that anyone's ever had
Yep.
entering a season. And Pat Surtain broke that up tonight, and the rest of the Broncos secondary, because Fabian Moreau had a game too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're dominant. They're playing dominant. My number 3 player, or number 3, not third player, will have to be Javonte.
Yep.
I feel like he's out there. He's making a lot of plays, and I love when he turns nothing into something. There was a couple plays where the offensive line didn't do a great job, but he was patient. He found the right hole, and then hit it with aggression. He loves to break tackles. He likes to be physical, man. He is playing lights out, and I think the Broncos need him to be a part of their winning culture or success, because without the running game, I don't think we're going to be as good as we are right now.
Yep, I like
21
that.
carries, 79 yards,
Yep.
a whole ass workload. But add on 4 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And that is a hell of a game
And
for
there was-
Javonte Williams. 110 yards and a touchdown total. And the Broncos basically just said, like, you're the guy. Here you go. Just save us.
Yep.
And it was the word I would use is, or the phrase I would use is workmanlike. It was an extremely workmanlike game from Javonte Williams. Just keep feeding him and good things will happen for you.
Well, and not just, I mean, you mentioned how it was 3.8 yards per carry. Against the Chiefs, it was 3.1 yards per carry. Just on a stat sheet, you're like, I'm not taking either of those. But they were efficient runs.
Yep.
If he needed 3 yards, he was getting 3 yards.
Yep.
If he needed 7 yards, he was getting 7 yards. And it just balances out where the Bills knew what was coming, and Javonte was getting just what he needed, which is
Exactly.
all you want. And again, Javonte is going to be asked to do this week in and week out. 27 carries against the Chiefs, 21 carries tonight. This is going to be Javonte Williams' workload moving forward. What happens when Javonte Williams averages 5.5 yards per carry and he gets the ball 25 times in a game? It's going to be a monster game for him. He is what makes this offense move, and they are going to rely on him like this every single week. So he's huge. He's huge, even though he's averaging less than 4 yards per carry.
Yeah, I mean, Sean loves dominant running backs. You see what he did with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Like, he loves a back that can not only get downhill, but, catch the ball out of the backfield. And I think he's using Javonte. And I feel like Javonte may be a good blend of both those guys to where he could be one of the best backs he's had, if he's able to have him for a couple of years.
I totally agree. Okay, coming in at number 4, this guy can't go any further than this. I'm going Jaquan McMillan right
like
here,
that.
starting the game off with a monster play. He forces the fumble.
Yeah.
He recovers the fumble, and that just set the tone for this game the rest of the time, because that just made Josh Allen on the very next series shook and felt like, I can't trust my receivers. I can't trust my guys out there. I have to go out and make plays. And then he forces that ball that Alex Singleton almost picks off. And then later that drive throws that interception that goes right through the hands of his receiver. Then Josh just did not have trust of his guys the rest of the way. And it started with that very first play. Pat Surtain called Jaquan McMillan last week a game changer. And he showed it on the very first play. And it was textbook. It wasn't like lucky that he forced a fumble. No. As the receiver's going down, Jaquan just rips it from him, just like your Todd, I have to imagine, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, I think players that can make plays like that, that's going above and beyond. Like, him just making the tackle would be what a normal player would do, but he's literally making game-changing plays, like Pat said. And I love to see it from him. He's a young player, and he's really making his presence felt. He reminds me kind of like Chris Harris, to where you come in, undrafted guy, but he definitely makes his presence felt as soon as he steps on the field. And it's not long before you're calling his name.
Alexis?
The Chris Harris comp is perfect.
Yep.
I love it.
How are we rounding this out? We haven't had anyone controversial
this
yet.
one could be controversial, maybe, but I hope not. I hope not. I actually have 2 that are kind of controversial, but I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy. Targeted 3 times, had 3 catches here tonight for 35 yards. Seems subtle. He had, averaging a little over 11 per, but I really like that one in the fourth quarter that actually set up the Javonte Williams touchdown drive. That 19-yard pass on 3rd and 10. That was one of those plays that absolutely needed to happen. He needed to come up with that ball. And, sometimes I get worried about Jerry. It's like he hears footsteps. Is he going to drop the ball in a clutch situation like that? And he came up big in that. It's hard not to put Courtland Sutton on that list. It's also really hard not to put, for me, Zac Allen on that list. I feel like there's a couple guys.
Well, and Jerry also drew the game-winning pass interference.
And he drew the game-winning pass interference call.
Yep.
So, which, like you said, like he was either going to catch it or that call was going to be made. But
I would hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope
exactly.
he was going to catch it.
I thought he was going to catch it. So he was almost 4 for 4 tonight, but he didn't have to come up with that fourth one. So I'm going to throw Jerry Jeudy on there.
I love it. I love it. And so Courtland Sutton, you mentioned him.
Yep.
The catch of the year, potentially, not just for the
sick.
Broncos, but in the entire NFL, was huge. Got the Broncos their first touchdown. Really started to seem like, oh my God, the Broncos are going to win this game. Not just can win this game, because we all believe they could win this game, but that they were going to win this game as the Avs take a 3-1 lead here.
The Avs are back.
Thank God.
But the Avs are back. Broncos are back. We're ready
good
to roll
timing.
in this town. But then Court has that really tough fumble, which then just all of a sudden the Bills go down, score a touchdown. The Bills off one turnover have more points scored off turnovers than the Broncos do, and they had many more. I think they had 3 at that time and only 6 points. So it was like, oh man, so that was really tough.
Can I make an excuse for Courtland?
Sure, I know where you're going.
Let's do it.
That's an easy first down if Russell Wilson doesn't throw that ball low.
Yeah, it was
fair
it was
It
a
was-
bad throw.
And I'm happy that this is Russ's worst play of the game. He throws it low to Courtland, who has to kind of like dip down to grab it, and then he's trying to do anything he can to get the first down, and he gets a little lackadaisical with the ball, and that's what causes that fumble. If Russ just hits him in the numbers, he can just like go in reverse for a first down. But he has to dip down, loses all his momentum, and he should not fumble that football, to be clear. But if that's a good throw, it's an easy first down.
I'm cool blaming it on Russ. I'm fine with that.
I like that. I feel
but-
like this should have been a top 10 because like the fans are angry. The fans are really pissed because like they're actually making good points too. It's like Marvin Mims, he could be on that list. Special teams,
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
had some
holy
great plays,
shit.
yeah.
Can we involve him on offense?
Can we follow them on?
Well, yes, we can continue to do these reverses
sweep.
that go nowhere.
Jet sweep is all his,
that
baby.
are awful, that almost result in a turnover every single time, or negative yards, or we're gonna throw a screen to him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It does not make sense. And Sean talked about it during the bye week. He said after the bye, I have his number written down right here. I'm gonna get him more involved. Are ya? Let's do something to get Marvin involved, because anytime he touches the ball outside of these stupid jet sweeps, he makes great plays. I mean, in the return game, he averaged 22 yards per punt return. That's so
Insane.
difficult
And that's
to
like
do.
his average on the season.
Yes, exactly. He's the number 1 punt returner in the NFL. On a kickoff, he had 1 kickoff, 31 yards. That's as good as you can get as well if you're not going to break one. The Broncos have the best return game in punt and kickoff, and it's only got better from tonight. So Marvin Mims should absolutely be up there. The Broncos had great field position tonight. Great field position, and that was due to their defense stepping up with the turnovers and their special teams as well.
Can Marvin Mims throw the ball? Do we know that? Was he like an ex-quarterback? I feel like Sean plays like the long game. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing
Setting
Marvin
him up.
runs. Yeah, when he's on offense. So
So
Hey,
start
true
setting them
for
up for
week
something.
18 against the Raiders.
you know,
Yeah.
It's
I don't
better
like
than it's better than Pat Shurmur calling Jerry Jeudy on
Oh,
the jet sweep
Lord.
but never giving him a chance.
It's true. Okay, what's going on? You here? Oh, speaking of the number 2 guy on our list, got to check out our Pat Surtain shirt in the description. Number 2 is the number 1 cornerback in the NFL, and there is no doubt about that. So make sure to check out the link in our description in
So
order
sick.
to get your PS2 shirt.
That shirt slaps. It honestly
Yeah.
looks better in person than it does online.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first reaction when I got it. The print on it is fantastic, and who more would you want to rep?
Yeah, no one.
Pat just has a good face. Like it's like a good face for a t-shirt, you know?
And number 2's throwing up the
Like he's
deuces
throwing
as
up the
well.
That shirt
and he's
goes
just like,
so
there's
hard.
just enough of like a head
I
tilt
need
to it.
Todd
I'm
to like style that up.
I
I
got
tried
you.
to dress up tonight for Todd. Like I put on the new Nikes, threw on the watch,
hit the
vintage
Shador, hit the
t-shirt.
Shador, hit the Shador.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, Henry wants
There
his
it
shine
is.
on the show, so he's bringing Pat in right here.
I will
there
try
it
to hold
is.
that. There's no way.
Looks beautiful.
Come join
Put
us,
him in
Pat.
between us.
Join
Oh, we
us.
got Pat Surtain, special
Should we
guest
hug
on
him?
today's show. I love it. I love it, and I also
does
love
look
our
dope.
friends over at Spirit Hound, where they have award-winning whiskey made right here in Lyons, Colorado. They've got a tasting room in the Highlands, and you can get it in over 40 states. So check out spirithound.com to get award-winning whiskey, vodka, gin. You can purchase it in stores in Colorado or online. So make sure to check them out, where it is delicious spirits. Great for if you want to bring something Thanksgiving, if you want to give someone a gift over the holiday season, get them Spirit Hound, where they will not be disappointed. So that's Spirit Hound. All right, we've got a lot of people that want to say something about this game. Let's jump into the comment section where super chats are flying.
Let's go,
And,
baby. Turn it up.
After this win, the Blind Swordsman in all caps says, all y'all need to scream or sternly yell. Are you not entertained? Hell yes. Oh my goodness. I
love these
what a
people.
game.
Me too.
Wait, what a game. For a while, it was looking like, oh, this is just another awful primetime game this week.
Yeah.
And then they turned it up.
Sure did.
Let me just say this, because we haven't really talked about it. The
Oh, God.
feeling in my heart when the field goal went wide right and they panned down and I saw where the flag was. And when a flag is in that position, it can only mean one thing. And that's too many men. And I was down in the bar just screaming, too many men, too many men, too many men. And they called the too many men is the best feeling I've had about the Broncos in a long time. Like, I just knew in that moment, we're going to win this game.
But before, how did you guys feel before you saw the flag? When it went right,
Oh my
when it
God.
was in the air and then it started tracking to the right?
Dude.
It was terrible because
it was
Will Lutz, you saw him tell Sean Payton, right hash, right hash, right hash.
Brutal.
And then he hits the fade when he needs to hit the draw.
Yep. Story of my life.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there. It was brutal, but then we're all just in so much pain. And then you just see that flag sitting right in front of the very back judge. And you're just like, I know what that means. I know what that means. Like, that swing of emotions, as good as it gets. That's why we watch sports.
Oh man, it
crazy.
is. And the Broncos had 2 hurricane calls in this game where the kick team has to run out there. They did at the end of the first half, executed perfectly, and they had to do it at the end of this one with the way the Bills used their timeouts to kind of mess with the Broncos. It was smart because, of course, you'd rather put the kicker in that position where he has to run out in order to do that, and didn't have to do it on the second attempt, which was nice. You got to calm down.
Yeah.
The last time the Broncos beat the Bills, 2005, they did the exact same thing. And I thought,
Incredible.
this is setting up perfectly for that. Easy field goal for Will Lutz. And he pushed it. But the
Nevertheless.
football gods knew who deserved to win this game.
Yeah. I screamed at the top of my lungs. Like it was such pain when he missed it at first, and I was just like, dear God. And I didn't see the flag. It took me a minute to see the flag and to see everybody else reacting, and I was just like, holy shit. That is such a Bills bailout. Thank you so much. And to see him hit the second one, thank God.
Thank God. Watch Me Squatch says, I don't care what anyone says. Buffalo was gifted 7 points by the dribble fumble. Buffalo who? Denver all the way this time. And again, these are things that earlier in the season, the margin of error for the Broncos, if they would have picked that up, the Bills, just like it happened tonight, it's like, well, that was the one break the Broncos need. They didn't get it. They're going to lose. Not this time. Not this time. Rickert Barr says, Sean said we had to learn how to win. Well, we did.
Yeah, they're finding a way in these tough games. And that's how the NFL is. Not every game is going to be a blowout. Rarely the game is a blowout. You got to figure out how to win these 2-point games, 3-point games, sometimes 1-point games. And, they're starting to put them together now, so they're definitely on a roll.
I've been preaching this a lot on the Buffs podcast lately, but there's an old Bobby Bowden phrase which has become kind of monumental in football, which is first you lose big, then you lose close, then you win close, then you win big. The Broncos in one season have been able to get over the hump of lose close to win close. And that's one of the hardest things to do. Look, there was the lose big. We all remember it against Miami. But every other loss they've had this season was lose close. Now they're in the win close phase. And that is the most important phase of a rebuild. Sean Payton has been able to teach them how to win. Even though there was a little gift tonight, they found a way. And to me, that's maybe the biggest part about all this. They are now in the win close phase, which is a huge part of getting back to where the Broncos should be, which is the win big phase.
Broncos are the second hottest team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
How about that? In terms of a 3-game win streak.
Behind the Vikings?
Behind the Vikings.
They
They're
have
on
the
a 5-game
longest win streak in the AFC.
Yep. Just wild. The team that started 1-5.
And I think it's worth noting, as a team that started 1-5, they started 1-5 with an all-new coaching staff, right? Other than a couple key positions, obviously Christian Parker with the defensive backs, and the D-line with Marcus Dixon. But other than that, this is an entirely new coach, an entirely new scheme and system. And for us to really have the expectation, holy crap, 4-1, go Avs!
Go Avs, go.
Go Avs, go! For us to have the expectation that these guys would come out and have it all figured out week 1, when you think about it, was actually a little unrealistic. And so we were talking earlier about, hey, like what's changed with this team? Like what's going on? Nothing's really changed. It's all starting to just finally come together, right? And it took 9 games for it to really start to come together. But here we are, and like RK said, now if they can start winning big, that'd have us feeling real nice down the stretch, right?
Sure would.
Exotic Gaming says these Vance Joseph apologies better be signed and sealed. Todd with the not so hot take earlier this year. Monday Night Football, let's make it a 4th. Let's go.
Told you guys.
Yeah, I mean, and just to reset, when you said that was a burning hot take, Todd. Now it's cold as can be.
I told you. I knew my man Vance would turn it around, man. I have faith in him. I'm glad you guys are seeing the big picture now. I just try to keep it real on the podcast. You may love me for it. I hope you love me for it, but I just try to keep it real and give my hot takes.
Stephen Sholey says, let's effing go.
He said, let's fucking go.
He said effing.
Literally.
Exotic Gaming again says he meant Sunday Night Football. Sorry, my emotions. Tears were shedded tonight. And man, that stadium is going to be rocking this Sunday night. And the Broncos, easy to get up against the Chiefs at home 2 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
Easy to get up for Monday Night Football coming off a bye against the Bills.
Yep.
It should be really freaking easy to get up for Sunday Night Football against a winning Bills team, the hottest team in the NFL.
Vikings.
Yes, the Vikings, who, with Josh Dobbs, you know you've got a shot to win that game. And with the way you're playing, you know you've got a shot to win that game.
I'm hitting game time. I'm going. So don't expect me on the post-game show next week.
Wow.
I'm going to the game.
Me
I'm
either.
turning up.
Me either. I'm going.
Let's go. I'm getting 3 tickets. 4 tickets. You, me, your wife, my fiance. Let's go to
do
the
it.
game.
So
Yeah,
I'm
let's
just going to be
go.
here by
Alexis,
myself?
Hey,
post game
can't go.
by you.
All right, I'll see you guys here. Come hang out. I'm gonna
Henry
need
can't
some-
go. He's been over there talking to my wife for the
We're
last
gonna
20
do-
minutes. I'm about to get up out my
I will
We got to wrap
say,
this show up.
Zena's been laughing the whole time too.
heck no.
She's having the greatest time with Hank. Somehow Hank is Mr. Charming over there for the first time ever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so rare.
Hank better start writing right now or
I know.
get out of here soon. Ivan Cruz says Sean Payton and Vance Joseph are coaching their asses off.
Amen.
They are.
Absolutely. Cody, our guy, says, can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Scrappy performance. Absolutely was. We got a super chat from Joshua McCool says, I was on a delay and I saw the missed field goal and Twitter said Denver won. I was so confused.
What a
LOL.
weird
all been
place to be.
What a weird week for the NFL. 4 games that ended in last second field goals.
I think it's
6.
more.
It's actually
It's
6.
Yeah.
Dang.
6 out of
Holy
14.
cow. That is incredible.
I still
Yep.
can't believe, like, we're all just in so much pain, and they just pan to the refs, and there's just they're saying no good, and you just see the flag right in front of them.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And I'm telling you, there's only one flag that can be there, and it's 12 men on the field.
We
Did,
believe
the
you, man.
Bills start storming the field?
I don't know.
I don't think
they,
so.
they know.
And you just saw Josh Allen just.
I act like I know. I was like way the hell over here. The TVs were over here. I didn't even see it. I was so mad.
I wonder. It'd be interesting to see the all 22. Did someone run on because it's field goal block, and they thought we got to go, but also, as Todd said, when it's a hurricane situation like that, you all just stay on, and it's just the same people who are out there. Someone probably ran on because they're just on the field goal block team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watch the waiver wire this next week.
Oh, yes. Oh,
We're gonna see
Tomorrow
that
morning, he'll be waived
if
for
not
sure.
something more intense, because now those Bills are 5-5. The
Yeah.
Bills that were supposed to be competing for the AFC title game, now they're 5-5.
How do the Buffalo Bills have the same record as the Las Vegas Raiders?
It's bad.
It's crazy.
It is bad. And the Denver
Injuries.
Broncos have the same record as the Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, that's obvious.
How about, after starting
That
1-5, it's a
doesn't
pretty
feel as
damn
good.
impressive feat to be there already.
Fair enough.
DTOG Go says Club Dub. Yes. A big
Can't
one.
wait to see the Club Dub
in Buffalo.
videos.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Are they gonna
club
put those- have we seen that?
hotel.
Well, I mean, a lot of the players put it on their IG. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta re-download IG. Damn.
Danimal says this wasn't a win, it was a loss gone wrong. I want an apology from Sean Payton to Will Lutz. He's too cocky.
For Will Lutz.
For Will Lutz. He's too cocky to admit his mistake. SM, shake my damn head. Man up, Sean.
hold on now.
Should
Will
we
Lutz
reread that?
had a bad week 1, right? Or was it week 2?
Week 1. No, yes, week 1.
He had a bad week 1. He's been perfect ever since.
Missed one against, one was
Blocked.
blocked against the Chiefs.
Okay. They won. And
Yeah.
he had a bad game tonight. So he's
got brought
had 2 bad games and 7 great games.
Yep.
But from
Let's
a
give him a
kicker,
break.
is that
It's game losing
that good?
games. Yeah.
He's only lost 1. He lost them 1 game. Which
I like
you
the way
don't
you're
want to
looking
see.
at this.
Broncos will be 5-4
Five-
right now. 5-4.
But he'll get it right.
That's gonna be clutch. What you hear? We're getting to the people. You hear? Let us talk to the people. The Boogie
Man,
Meister
we got
says,
Superchats.
"Let's go." I think it was Vaughn that was the 12th man. Oh,
he is weird.
Man.
Seeing Vaughn get stonewalled by Mike McGlinchey was
weird.
satisfactory.
Garrett Bowles locked
I
him up a
didn't
couple
like
of
that,
times.
really.
Yeah,
I felt
he
bad for
did.
Vaughn. I want to see him do one thing. Like, I wanted him to have one big play tonight that did not affect the outcome of the game. Does that make
I
sense?
want
Yeah.
Vaughn to have one big retirement ceremony in Denver. That'll be great.
No,
Should
I,
we do a Von Miller parade?
Sure.
I want Vaughn to have success next week.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. I'm always rooting for Vaughn.
Always.
But it's time.
Cody again says Buffalo wings will taste a lot better tonight.
Damn.
If they're even
Fair.
open. I
I'm
don't
getting
even,
buffalo wings tomorrow.
I mean, it's past midnight there. On a Tuesday morning in Buffalo?
Yeah.
I doubt it. Next one, Joshua McCool says, Sean forcing Bills to use timeouts next level.
It was the right move, but man, was that chaotic.
It was.
Because, look, we've seen Josh Allen score in a very, very short period of time.
Yeah.
So you could not leave time for Josh Allen on the clock.
No, not at all.
And you had to make them use their timeouts. And that we knew, or as we were sitting down there, everyone who's watching the game knew, okay, you're going to have to take a knee with 24 seconds left. And you're going to have to run the field goal kicking team out there, which is not ideal. But it was the right move. And it almost ended up looking really bad.
Yes,
By
it
that
did.
much.
Almost.
It did. Almost.
But it didn't.
Yash Thacker says, my second ever super chat. Let's
Fucking
effing go.
go.
It says effing go. And next one from Valley says, an ugly win is still a win. Go
win is a
Broncos
win.
and go DNVR.
Yeah.
And you know what? An ugly win against a good team and a very tough place to play is just a damn good win.
Yes, I think so.
Dubs are
I
dubs.
agree.
Yep.
I feel
Brad
like that
Howard.
was a good one against an inconsistent team this year, though. The Bills have not been the Bills. It doesn't take away from the fact that this was a ginormous win and still one of the hardest games on their schedule, in Buffalo specifically. But man, the Bills don't look good right now. Like, they're so inconsistent. What they've gone back and forth with wins and losses all year long. Now 2 losses in a row. I don't know. They've fallen. Wheels are off. Maybe.
And the Broncos.
879 likes. We got to get to 1,000.
All right,
That's
we're
so
only
close.
just over 100 away for Henry stepping up in front of this camera
Give us
and
a like
shotgunning
for
a beer. Brad Howard
Von
says,
Miller.
I haven't smiled because of the Broncos in probably 7 years. What?
You didn't smile after the Chiefs win?
game.
gonna say.
Courtland Sutton, catch of the century. Broncos country, let's
Fucking
effing
ride.
ride. I'm just reading what the people say. Jason says, Toro twice. Old Mike Shanahan played a rush out the kicking team with no timeouts. You love it.
I do
Gotta
love
love
it,
it.
except for when they missed. But I love everything else.
Evan hits us with a music super chat.
$49.99.
A big one. Thank you so much, Evan. That means a lot.
Check out Evan Holston music.
Oh,
Do that.
absolutely. Yes.
Minimum.
Kalaya?
says the players are playing with heart now. The Russ haters are so mad right now. Russell Wilson just simply outplayed Josh Allen in
Yep.
every single set. Even had more rushing yards than Josh Allen, more touchdowns than Josh Allen, few interceptions than Josh Allen, a higher pass rating than Josh Allen, a higher QBR than Josh Allen, higher completion percentage, and more passing yards.
Yep.
Russell Wilson on the season. 16 touchdowns.
18 touchdowns.
18 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
Woo! Sign me up.
Comeback player of the year.
Well,
I don't care if DeMar Hamlin was
they're
out there
gonna-
today. I don't care.
undeservingly give it to DeMar Hamlin.
Don't do that,
Well,
NFL.
I mean, he came back from like
Death.
I'm
death.
sorry,
Yeah,
but
that's pretty damn impressive to now be playing on Monday Night Football. I don't have an issue with that.
I do. I have an issue with that.
I don't know
That's like
if I
giving
should-
participation trophies to people. Like,
I don't know if
I'm-
I should state my issues with that.
I
Doesn't
don't
seem
like-
right.
It doesn't seem right. I have a problem with it. sorry.
Steve says, it has been a long time since I believed in this team. I believe.
Totally like
There we go.
I think everyone believes. Most importantly, the players believe.
That is
And
most
that is
important.
just
The impact of that win
massive.
over the Chiefs, man.
William Gaines says, let's go. This team has got to believe. At our best, we can go and win and go on a run. Flying out to Denver for the Chargers game on New Year's Eve, ready to be taking shots at the DNVR bar afterwards, celebrating a dub and pre-gaming a playoff run.
Hell fucking yeah. Let's
Can we get
go.
some? Can we get some? If they go to the playoffs, can we get some foggers? Can we turn this into like a club?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Might as well, right?
Todd, you're the only one who's been there. Teach us how to
I
close
got
up.
you.
Yeah.
I got you. Don't even worry about
Yes,
it.
Club Dub at the DNVR bar.
Teach us
I
your
got. Just give me your
ways.
credit card. I'll do all the rest.
I'm gonna
I
be
saw Brandon Spano walk down the stairs earlier. We should
There
have
we go.
asked him then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If next weekend Sunday Night Football is not absolutely popping at the DNVR bar, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. So everyone out there who lives in Denver and is a Broncos fan, get down here if you're not going to the game, and let's turn up.
So you're
But
gonna
are
be
you
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be.
here or are you
Yeah,
gonna be at
where
the
are you
game?
gonna be?
I'll be here before, and then I'm going to the game.
and at the
And then after.
at the bar.
Me and Todd are going to the game.
Yes.
And then coming here.
We'll come after, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, who's going to do the post-game show with me? Are you coming? Are you going to stay?
I'm at the game.
Shit.
We will figure it
Zena
out.
Davis,
figure it out.
everyone.
There we go.
Zena Davis.
We will figure it out.
That girl knows ball,
The
too.
post-game show, the show must go on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's going to be me and Pat.
But me and Todd are
Pat
going to
right
be
here.
turned up
You
at
and
the
Pat.
game, so I don't know what to tell you guys.
Gonna be hanging
Kalaya
out.
again says Richard Sherman and Nick Wright are crying tonight. Nothing
Pat,
makes me
get over
happier
there.
than seeing those two in absolute
Damn.
shambles. Wow, Lexus.
Alexis is laying the wood on.
Pat's like in my space.
What do we
okay.
have here?
What do you
Dactyl
guys feel
says,
Ooh.
what do you guys feel about the penalties? Felt ticky-tack and biased against us.
Don't care, Dub.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that's something the Broncos overcame.
Yeah.
10 penalties for 61 yards, where the Bills had half of that. Now they did have 63 yards in penalties, but only 5 penalties. You overcome penalties. That shows again that you have a margin for error, which is good.
Zach, you know I'm the #1 refs guy. I
Thanks,
love
guys.
blaming games on the refs.
You do.
At no point during this game did I think the refs are screwing the Broncos, to
I
be
agree.
honest.
I
There were
agree.
so many holding calls they actually missed on the Broncos throughout the game where I was just like, oh, God, that could have been easy.
I didn't see those, but
I saw them.
at no point tonight was I was like, the refs are screwing the Broncos. So,
Yeah, I
and I
agree.
would be happy to do that.
Yep. Yep. Rod just hits us with the super chat. Thank you so much, Rod. We appreciate that. Matt Dubois says, I went to church the week of the Kansas City game and this week. Big wins both times. Now I have to go to church every week for all of our sakes. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You got to do whatever works.
That's probably good for you.
I love it. Yep.
It's good for your soul.
Rod again
definitely
comes with
good.
the super chat and says, Russ made clutch throws when needed. Vance Joseph has coached the defense to 9 takeaways from Kansas City and Buffalo the last 2 games. Sunday Night Football, I see an offensive explosion.
I can't freaking wait.
So excited. Short week, too. We don't have to wait that long.
I know, and the
God.
Buffs play on Friday.
Boom. What a
Oh, you're
weekend.
gonna be ready for that game too.
I will.
Goody
Back in
says,
time.
I'm telling myself it was Vaughn that went onto the field for that 12th man penalty. I got to say,
I
from
love
things
this
I've seen on social media, from reporters that are there,
Thanks,
Vaughn
Vaughn.
is Vaughn's pretty shook up about this loss.
Oh, did he speak?
What do you say?
No, just like I think it was Mike Kliss he told. He just said like, I'm not ready to talk about it or something. Still processing.
Interesting.
I'm not
Why?
processing it.
Celebrate if you can.
I have fully processed this
No.
dub, and it
Is
fucking
he-
rules.
He wanted to win.
Is he sad that he's not on this team during this time?
Yeah.
Is that?
He's
Vaughn's
just,
a Bronco
he's mad
for
that
life.
he lost. Yeah.
I like that. He's just mad that he lost.
And of course he's mad he lost because he's a competitor.
Lindsay says controversial, but I'd say the Broncos make the playoffs. DeMar Hamlin winning comeback player of the year will be a BS decision by the league.
It was decided. To be honest, that was decided before the season even started.
It was, yeah,
Still hate
and
it.
the odds just reflect that.
But it should go to Russ.
As much as I love the DeMar Hamlin story, I need to make sure that's out there. So happy for the guy.
Or does it belong to Javonte Williams coming off an unbelievably devastating injury where there was legitimate
Yeah.
belief he wasn't going to be
But
back?
there's a
this
difference
Both
year.
of them
between-
deserve it more than DeMar Hamlin, just to be
There's
honest.
the difference between coming off like an
This
injury.
man died for like 10 minutes on the field.
We're just. Oh no.
Oh, right.
It's not my fault.
We have
His
spillage.
mic's falling off. There's a drink that's gone
Like-
down.
Oh, damn, you just blew up the whole spot.
None of this is my fault.
And of
Get
course,
the,
none
get the
of
Stanley.
it
Get the Stanley.
is his fault. Oh,
we-
no.
We must have a three-leg.
Stanley?
Oh,
It
did
is
the
a
table
little-
tip over?
No, God got you for the DeMar Hamlin talk.
Yes. That didn't take long,
Real
did
quick.
it?
That was quick.
Dude, if anything, that would be God giving me then.
Spence says,
I'm just telling you, I did nothing. I did
It
nothing.
was past.
Spence says, what's the quality of the Pat Surtain shirt? Thin,
great.
thick, heavy duty? What are we feeling?
Soft.
It is soft. Weirdly
sound
Which
like
soft.
doesn't add up for Pat Surtain because he's not soft.
That's very true. Yeah, exactly. Next super chat, do we have? Here we go. We've got one from Wyoming Cowboy says, I cannot wait for the Vikings game. I'll be there. Denver amazing when the Broncos win. We're back, baby. The Broncos are definitely back.
I cannot
sir.
wait
now.
for Mile High next weekend.
It's gonna be
gonna be
nuts.
lit.
It's gonna be nuts.
I hope the weather.
There's
like,
an old meme. I think it was
It's perfect.
Mbappe who said, I'll be there no matter what. I will be there no matter what.
But you gotta be here no matter what.
No. I'll be there no matter what. I'm going to the stadium. No one can stop
I'm
me.
all alone. There's no one here besides
All right, you hear next
me.
one. Coming in from Spence again says, and go Broncos, Denver Broncos for life. I love seeing all the people tuning in and showing out. What are we at
So many
likes-wise?
super chats.
Here, you hear?
958.
Let's go.
958. You hear that, Henry?
1,000
That's
is a weak goal at this point.
42 likes away. You better start getting this beer ready. Tyler says all the Broncos are good.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a Nuggets
I love
callback.
it. It is DNVR. Isabella says, I had my sleeping baby next to me during those last seconds. The power it took to hold in all those
Nice.
noises and emotions. Go Broncos. That is impressive that you did not wake
It's a
the sleeping
mom
baby.
superpower right there.
That is. I was going to say, there's no way I could.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely no.
It was electric in the DNVR bar. Scott says, Was happy to see DeMar Hamlin back healthy. When I saw him come in, my heart sank. It felt like the perfect opportunity for him to come in and steal the game and hearts of America. Thankfully, not, though.
I was so ready to call the NFL scripted.
Yeah, if he came in and got like a pick or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude goes out with the injury, and I was like, if he has an interception, I will be pounding the NFL is scripted drum to oblivion.
We pull that 10 hat back out for you.
But hey.
And then you would have had to believe in the comeback player of the year, too.
The NFL has defeated the allegations for now.
KC Mac says, if you told me we would go 3-1 against this Packers, Chiefs, Chiefs and Bills, I would have said you were nuts, but it's a reality.
Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, 3-1.
Yep, and on a 3-game win streak right now. Logan says Marvin Mims, the low-key MVP with his returns today.
Yeah.
Clutch field position for the Broncos all game. Thanks to him, the return game, and the defense. Empower K9 says, can't stop watching Russ to Sutton touchdown. Let's freaking go. This is the Russ we traded for.
Yeah.
If he keeps it up, do we stop thinking of replacing him?
Of course.
Yep, I think so.
He's playing winning football. He's 18-4.
Yeah.
18-4.
Not ready to go there yet.
It's comeback player of the year
That's
stats.
And it's
18-4.
It's not because of what I think. I don't know if the way Sean's calling these games, does Sean fully trust him?
Definitely not. Let's move on.
But then there we go. James Partney says, let's
Fucking go.
Go Broncos. Jacob Weddle says, Russ is back. The Broncos are back. Playoffs, here we come. I love it.
Even though you're a Nebraska fan.
James Allen says, honestly, we have to give Vance Joseph credit. It's hard, but the defense has given every opportunity for wins these last weeks. Let's go.
It's not hard.
It shouldn't be hard
It's
to
not
give
hard.
Vance Joseph credit.
It's not hard.
What he's done, he was put in an absolute, and he was part of putting himself in an awful situation.
Yeah.
And somehow he's turned it around more than maybe any coach I've ever seen turn around in the middle of a season. It's absolutely incredible.
And it's not difficult to give him credit. Everyone in Broncos country should be praising him right now.
Without Vance, you don't have this 3-game win streak.
Absolutely not.
Kevin says, Kevin says, worried about the Vikings? We should have this one. No? Well, that's what you think when you think of like the Vikings without Kirk Cousins and Josh Dobbs. And we're going to really dive into this game, but they are on a 5-game win streak right now. So should the Broncos win? Vegas says they should. The Broncos are favored for this game, but it's not a gimme. If the Broncos overlook the Vikings, they will lose, but I don't think they will overlook them.
Broncos 31-14.
Wow, Broncos should overlook the Vikings, according to Ryan. What you hear?
They should not overlook anyone.
1,000 likes. Get over here. Get this beer ready. All right, Kevin. Okay, next super chat from Jacob Weddle says,
and one.
Sean Payton is now 11-3 with 11 wins in a row off a bye.
Wow.
Always bet the Broncos off a bye when Sean Payton is the coach.
I'll tell you, Jacob, I did bet the Broncos.
Boom, there we go. And final super chat.
This one's for RK.
RK, say fuck.
There we go. He said it. Are people not allowed to type that in super chats? Does it not go through?
I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't let you.
That
Okay.
is
I didn't know that. I thought everyone was just
hilarious.
trying to be PG here.
You know who said it though?
Who?
Who was it? I didn't catch it.
Eric Cartman.
Perfect.
All right,
That
hey.
is fitting, and it's also fitting
Just
that
felt it.
Come on
Henry
over.
Get in here.
has
No, go on
No.
one knee
crushed
right in here.
this beer.
Come on.
Henry, we can't have that on site.
Come
you gotta
on
have
now.
one. You gotta have one of these
No,
puppies
he's fine,
right
he's
here.
fine.
You
Oh,
signed
okay,
up for
okay.
this,
Don't make him
100%.
drink a warm one. That's
Here we
rough.
go.
You do it
All right,
yourself.
1,000
No, a warm
likes.
one's better. You want to chug a warm one.
No.
Do you?
It's
That
way
is
better
better.
than a cold one.
That's better.
Back.
Henry, what are you doing? Don't poke it there. Have you ever shotgunned a beer before? You do
Yeah,
it on
lay
the
it
other
flat.
side.
Not by myself.
You do
You
it
gotta
on
do
the
it
other
here. No,
side.
There he
you
goes.
flip it. Yeah,
There
yeah.
Keep
you
the likes
go.
coming.
This
Keep
is
the thumbs up
ridiculous.
Yeah,
coming.
You
yeah,
want it at the
yeah.
top.
Do
You want it
not
at the top.
spray that beer on me, young man. Get in front of me. Get in front. We
Why
want-
is he talking to him like you're his dad?
I am
this
his
is like
daddy.
dad his freshman year at the
Oh
tailgate.
my goodness. Go.
Gotta
Go. No,
hold
he
to
just...
it.
Wait.
Wait.
Go,
Wait,
go,
you gotta press
go,
You
it.
got it. Mountain Likes Broncos win. Henry.
You gotta finish that.
Shotguns
Finish
a beer.
it.
He is sipping on it like,
This is the worst.
wow.
Yeah.
That,
That
The
thing
hole
is
is too
full.
small. I panicked because the key I had to it was spraying. I had to get some.
Not the worst problem to have. All right, let's wrap it
oh
up.
my goodness.
Bow, 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 bow.
And just like that, the Broncos are back 5-4.
on my new
We will
shoes.
see you in 12 hours for the next DNVR Broncos podcast. Thank you all so much for rolling with us. Hit us with a thumbs up on the way out. And the Broncos are back tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Let's
We're
fucking
back.
go.
See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.